All right, let's look at some things. So these are some things that it does help with. It's resistance to trauma and infection. If you go sliding off your bike, the layers of skin come off first before you get to the bone and the muscle, right? Yes?
When I was little, we were in Iowa City on vacation, and my brother was on his bike, and a car stopped, so the biker probably messed up, and he got scared, so he jumped across the road. And when he skidded across the road, he had sandals on, and his foot dragged, and it went through all the layers, and he saw a bone. It was disgusting.
Yeah. But at least you have the layers before the bone.
Oh,
you have a little bit. And you see this when people are playing basketball or sliding into base, you'll tear off that other layer. You get the big raspberries on your elbows and knees and stuff. That's kind of a protective mechanism. It helps us to prevent that from getting a worse disease. Our skin also has what we call an acid mantle. It's acidic. If you ever lick someone's skin, they taste sour and salty. Right? So if you're giving somebody a hickey, you might decide that, right? You might figure that out. Barriers to the ultraviolet light. It creates a barrier against too much sunlight getting into the body. And how it does this is it turns color. Our skin gets tan as we're out in the environment. Initially, if we stay out too long, what happens? We burn, right? Now, you can get some really bad burns from staying out too long, and you can go into sun sickness. You get actually physically sick. You throw up and all that stuff because you've been out in the sun too much and too long.
Why do you get sick?
It's just that you get dehydrated and you get overheated, and it's just like heat stroke almost. But you also, the temperature makes a big difference. The redness of your skin is also part of that. So we have that ability to protect our bodies. Now, people with darker skin have a better chance of not burning than people that are fair skinned. So if your heritage is from Finland, you're going to burn much better than someone that has lived their heritage, their ancestors came from the equator. They're going to be able to survive that. Also, vitamin D synthesis is also one of the things that occurs because of the sunlight. The sun converts the vitamin D into a usable substance that we can actually absorb, and that makes it so that our bones are stronger. And then we have lots of receptors inside of our skin. We can feel heat, temperature, pressure, pain. All those receptors are in the skin. We don't actually feel in those areas. We feel the pain and all those things inside the brain, but that information is coming from those receptors and taking it to the brain. We also have receptors that make us sweat. Sweat to keep us cool. Without sweating, your body temperature goes up, up, and up, and you can have disease problems. You can get damage to the brain and other situations with dehydration, things like that. And then also nonverbal communication. People communicate by what we see, okay? Got some pictures coming up of that too in a minute. So we went through all those. So, communication, what's this guy saying to you? Everybody has a different interpretation of what this man would be saying, or this young man. Pain? Leo says pain. Jeff, what do you think?
I don't know, he's looking at something gross.
Something gross? Scared? Jenna, what do you think?
I was thinking scared.
Jennifer, what do you think? Pain? Maybe he's constipated? Right? Depends on your frame of mind what you're looking at, right? What is he saying to you? Now, he's kind of distorted. His ears are funky, but that's so because this isn't normal, right? We got her, right? She's kind of wild. Just throw that in there for fun. All right, beauty ain't everything, but it sure helps, right? So people have kind of weird appearances, and their appearances. Now, would this be look like a friendly guy or a mean guy, or what do you think? Right?
No teeth don't mean it's scary.
Yeah, just because you don't have any teeth doesn't mean he can't bite you either, right? But see, we perceive what's going on in our life and around us by the way people look. You know, if they're old and they're wrinkly, maybe you think, oh, they're so. I'm sorry, they're so old. You know, that's too bad, right? But if they have, say, they have a different skin color than you, we judge those types of things, and just by the facial expressions, we judge them too. You know, if you like dogs, one dog will come up to the other one and they go, "Grrr." That's it. That dog doesn't go any further, right? Or if you have a dog that, like a mailman will come up and the dog growls at them, they back off. They know that that's type of a communication. They can even just bare their teeth. We saw this guy before, right? He can manipulate his face for expression. Does he look happy?
Looks like you just ate like a
Probably not the happiest guy, right?
Yes.
What's that?
Popeye.
He had his spinach today.
Yep. Here's a bunch of other ones. How about the guy up here in the top? The up here,
Somebody farted. It's disgusting.
this one here.
On top, yeah.
What else? Anybody else think there's something else?
Was it like
Confused maybe? How about this guy here, girls?
Wink, wink.
So you're in a bar, and I don't know, maybe you don't go to bars, whatever, right?
something.
This guy's sitting somewhere away from you and he gives you the wink.
And you give him the finger.
Well, what if you like him though? I mean, what if he's appealing to you? That wink is not going to make it put him over the top on your possible list?
No.
It's just a harmless wing.
This is kind of like looking at you and giving you the wink and saying, humma humma, baby.
That's like if my husband goes out to eat by himself in a restaurant. He's a weirdo. Nobody goes to eat by themselves. People are going to look at you and say, you're a dang weirdo. Why are you eating by yourself? So he's not eating by himself.
Well, especially if you're winking at this waitresses, that's kind of a bad thing too. How about this guy over here? This guy right here. What's he saying?
what the heck?
Right? Does he look like he's got gas? Right? He's just, man, my stomach hurts terrible. Right? Kind of look that way.
Yeah.
But everybody has their own interpretation. How about this dude?
That's my wife. Angry.
He's angry, right? He's definitely mad at something.
Motivation.
Yep. And then there's a whole bunch of different ones too. I just throw these on here, just kind of sadness, happiness, different ways that we can communicate by just our skin, the way our skin looks, the color of it, the shape of our mouth, their eyes, make us communicate. 40% of our communication is because of those types of gestures. And then one of my favorites, it's one of my favorite movies. So I throw this in there too. He's really happy. He's going out to McDonald's, right?
No.
Yes.
Something like that. And then there's some people that just have kind of goofy looking faces, right? They just have that. I like the guy in here in the back though, doing the belly flop in the mud. That's pretty cool. I think. What's that?
I thought he was like dead on the floor.
No, he's doing a belly flop in the mud pit.
Hey, you go down to West Virginia and you see all types of people like that.
You go to Missouri, you find people like that too.
That's serious.
And then there's your Popeye.
Yeah,
Right.
the other one was better.
Yeah.
That looks like Jimmy
No.
Neutron.
No. No. No.
And we can make things with,
No.
certain apps we can do
She
things.
looks like Jimmy Neutron.
Jimmy Neutron, okay. How about hair? Now, most of you ladies and people know more about hair products and things than I do because how many of you guys spend much time on your hair? Leo, how much time do you spend on your hair?
Obviously hours.
Jeff,
No, not really.
how about you?
Not much when it's short like this.
Yeah? Devin, how much?
Just swipe my hair over a little bit.
Dry it, swipe it, and you're done. Yeah. Ladies, how long do you
I have a question.
I just brush it up in the shower.
brush it after shower? You don't dry it, you don't curl it, or
My hair's already
whatever.
naturally curly, so if you brush it when it's dry, it gets like a lot of waves.
okay. Anybody else spend lots of time with their hair and
No.
curling irons or straighteners, or I don't know what this stuff is. My wife has this stuff in there, and I go, "That's yours. That's her drawer."
Straighten it every now and
What do you do with your
then.
hair?
And it's
What do I do with my hair?
really
I dry it with a towel and I comb it and it's done. That's it, man. I don't put any products in there or anything. As you can see, it's probably messy. I was outside. I always figure if people don't like the way I look, they can look the other way. That's my idea. So, anyway, so describe the structure of hair. What does hair look like? We all looked at it in a microscope. What does it look like?
It looks like a dark line covered by like a thingy, kind of like.
Wait, don't make that hand motion for memories.
No, I'm describing. It looks kind of like a see-through tube, kind of, and in the middle there's like a bunch of like a dark line.
Those are cells. Hairs are made of cells, just like our skin. It's the same type of epithelium as our skin. And people, this is one place or one area that people can modify their appearance very safely. You can dye it, you can cut it, you can grow it, and it'll all return back. It keeps growing every day, every minute. You're going to change your hair because you do that, right? So if you're in the Ducks dynasty, you got the big old bushy beard and the long hair, that's okay. That's them. You know, that's their statement of who they are. But the hair is designed for several reasons. What are some functions of the hair?
Warm.
Warmth a little bit.
Protection.
Keeps
Attractive me.
attractive mate. Yeah. But nowadays, you know, people even shave their heads, so that's attractive to some people too. So you don't have to have hair. You can opt not to. Sky.
Does it like catch bacteria?
Not hair. Not too much. It'll catch dirt, like in the hairs in your nose. Why do we have eyebrows?
Check from sweat resolution.
Yeah, it keeps the sun out of your eyes, right? Especially if you got a unibrow. Kind of blocks that sunlight from getting in there. How about eyelashes? What are eyelashes for? To wink and flirt, right? Why do girls have better eyelashes than guys, or do they?
No.
No, they don't. That was a definite. Why do you say that?
Because guys always have longer eyelashes.
Guys always have four and longer.
I hated it when I was a little kid because I had longer eyelashes than my sisters and stuff, and everybody come, "Oh, you got such beautiful eyelashes." Slap them, you know. It's embarrassing for guys. You know, we're not supposed to have good-looking eyelashes and stuff.
This is be rugged.
That's right. But those are there for a reason. They're there to protect you, protect your eyes from dust and dirt. When you blink, it stops that dust from getting in there. Right? Other hairs too. We have helps with heat loss, like you said, and it creates another protective mechanism. If someone grabs you by the hair and pulls on you, your hair's going to break off, or it can break off. Right? The hairs on our body itself doesn't create much heat protection. We're not like a gorilla that has really coarse, thick hair, but actually we have the same amount of hair as a gorilla does. Ours is just lighter in texture. We have the same number of hairs, mostly. Than,
What about those people, like, they take their shirt off and they look like a freaking gorilla? That's disgusting.
I got some of those too. Hold on. So we have hair all over our body except in the palms of our hands, the soles of our feet, the nipples, and our lips. It's kind of nice we don't have hair on our lips, right? Because it's kind of gross when you're giving somebody a kiss and you get your teeth wrapped up in their hair. It's not a good thing, right?
Sometimes it's so catch the mustache.
Yeah, and get your mustache.
I Aren't they also, aren't hairs also uses kind of like receptors too, like the skin is?
Yeah, the skin, the hair on our skin tells us if there's wind's blowing or if there's a bug crawling on us. There's little receptors at the base of the hairs. The hairs themselves doesn't pick that up, but the receptors do that when the hair moves, makes it work. There are differences in individuals. There's difference in sexes. Women tend to have finer, thinner hair than guys do on their bodies. Guys have more of a coarse hair on their legs, but some women, if they don't shave very much, it's a kind of a toss-up, right? And why is it that people have lots of hair and people don't have lots of hair? Some women shave their armpits and others don't. Why is that?
Now they dye it.
What?
Yeah.
Dye their armpits. You haven't seen that? The girls are growing their
Oh,
armpit hair
yeah.
out to dye it. It's a new trend now.
Oh, do they braid it too? No, that's gross.
Oh, I don't know, but it ain't for me.
But that's social things. We have different parts of the body have different types of hair. The languule is the fine, unpigmented hair on babies. If you look at a baby, you can't hardly see any of their hair. They're just so fine and so clear that you can't see it. The vellus hair is more in children and women. Then when the testosterone hits guys, the hair gets real thick, just like their voice. It changes for them. You can usually tell a guy when he goes into puberty because the hair on his legs becomes bigger, longer, I should say, thicker, and darker. That's usually when they start puberty. Little kids don't have a lot of that.
I've got hair growing now.
Yeah, and they get pubic hair and armpit hair. That's for males and females both.
And you cry.
That's called terminal hair or coarse hair. That's hair that is kind of expendable. Why do we have pubic hair?
Are you happy with it?
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass.
I agree with that statement.
But we have pubic hair, but what is it for? I mean, that's the only place we got it there, and a couple places in our armpits. Why? Why isn't it hairy like that all over?
Bacteria.
I heard it's for protecting.
It's some protection, but it's also the area where we have pheromones released. That gives you somebody said something about attracting a mate. Well, those hairs in those areas in your armpit and your pubic area exude a pheromone that attracts a mate. They did the research with this, and they found out that if you give a bunch of guys T-shirts, and they wear those T-shirts and they get them all sweaty, and then you give those to a female, and they smell them different days of the month during their menstrual cycle, that T-shirt smells different to them. When they're ovulating, the T-shirt smells really not so bad.
What if you don't have a menstrual cycle?
You still have the hormones, pheromones in there. Yep.
So you're saying if you smell like a super sweaty, nasty shirt, that it smells good?
Depending on.
Depending on when the middle of your menstrual cycle, you're ovulating, that's when guys actually smell better to women. Most of the time, guys smell terrible to women, subconsciously. But when they're ovulating, they smell better than they do otherwise, because they're in that mood, if you will, right? That's the time of the month where they can get pregnant. So, anyway, that's another story. Then we'll show you some pictures of people with some hair. All right? There's his eyes. See it?
Nose and around.
It's really soft.
Chewbacca.
Yeah, chewy. Another one.
Why?
So he can sleep in class. Yep. Hair. Keratinized hair has different colors. The melanin makes your hair colors the different colors that it is. You can have gray hair, white hair, or you can have different colors. The white hair and the gray hair is from loss of melanin, and it's basically air inside those shafts, hair shafts. So the more melanin, the darker your hair. The lighter is less melanin, just
So
like
I'd
in your
rather have,
skin.
like, brown hair, but then he's got like a black spot.
Mm-hmm. Those cells have more melanin in them. Just like if you have some of the white spots, are just because there's less melanin. Hair follicles extend down from the epidermis way down into the dermis. The hair bulb is expanded the very deep end of the hair follicle into the shaft. So there's two layers. You have the outer wall, and then you have the inner wall of the epithelial cells. We have, at the end of our cells, we have little receptors that tell us if the wind is blowing or if there's a bug crawling on us. These are called root hair receptors. And it sends a signal to the brain that tells us what's happening. Oh, get that bug off. Oh, those types of things. Then we also have little muscles that attach to the base of the hairs called erector pili that make our hair stand up. So when we're scared or cold, the hairs stand up. Now, when we were primates, millions of years ago, that kept us warm. We could make the hair stand up with these little erector pili muscles, and it created a dead air space and made our bodies warm, warmed us up. We don't do that anymore. We just get goosebumps from that type of stuff. So we talked about this one already. Vellus hair, terminal hair, white hair is just a process. Some people have really special colored hairs, and others, only Clairol knows why their hair color is that way, right? You can color your hair. A lot of people, a lot of women color their hairs. You guys don't color your hair, do you? Or do you? No? Some guys do. But you can usually tell a guy that colors their hair because it just doesn't look natural. It looks weird. My wife won't let me color my hair. Anyway, so these are different hair colors. Different colors, different types of melanin are producing these different colors. Some people do some interesting things with their hair, right? They can modify it, change it, be a social statement. I don't know if I'd do that to my kid or not, but that's just something that they can do. Some fun. 3 hours from now, it may be all curled and all combed down and look really nice. Hair is also very electric. If you have, anybody ever done this with rub a balloon on your hair and stick it to the wall and all that stuff? It creates an electrical charge, static electricity. Hair grows in phases. Sometimes your hair grows really fast, sometimes they grow very slow. And it's because of the diet, a lot of times, that you're going through. The better diet that you have, what types of things is good to make your hair grow?
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil? Okay. It's got some good oil in it, some good nutrients. Protein is really good. Inositol, biotin is also good for your hair. Just a good, one of the really good ones is a prenatal vitamin for females. If you take a vitamin that when you're pregnant, your hair grows really good, your nails grow good. It's got some good stuff in it.
Do you take that when you're not pregnant?
Yes, you can. Just make sure you tell your mom and dad, though, that you're not pregnant and you're just taking them because you need to. They get kind of freaky when they see a prenatal vitamin sitting on the counter. So, 6 to 10 years for your scalp and 3 to 4 months in your eyebrows is your growth phase. You're going to grow out and they're going to fall out. Now, some people keep growing their hair all their lives, right? I've seen Amish women with their hair clear down to their calf. It's so long. Does anybody else have really long hair? That's years ago. That's what they did. They never cut their hair. It just stayed that way. It takes a lot to take care of that, though. Just to brush it out, it's like, whoa. You have to have long arms. So it's constantly changing, just like your body does. Some people don't have hair. Reason for this, a lot of times for guys, it's hormonal. It's a genetic predisposition to too much testosterone, which causes the hair loss. Now you can give, implants and all that stuff to replenish it, but Most of the time, nowadays, it's more acceptable. 100 years ago or 50 years ago, people would do the comb over, and they'd go out in the wind and they'd have hair clear down to here on one side and nothing on the other side. Now they just shave it. And it's a different world. Different works that way. So body hair provides some warmth, not very much. Scalp hair is for sunburn and heat retention. Beard, pubic hair, axillary hair, all expendable hair. You can get rid of it if you want to. You shave, you wear a beard, whatever, right? They say that 60% of females now shave the pubic area. So it's just a question of preference, social acceptance, those types of things. So sometimes it's they just don't like it. It doesn't feel right. Their armpits get itchy or whatever, they do it. Other countries, they don't shave anything. They have hairy legs, armpits, everything is a natural. So depends on the society and what you dictate. Right? Now, some people are real hairy. This guy is kind of hairy, right? A little curly hair. Out on the beach, kind of like a rug, right? This guy here, he's got a couple things going wrong with him, right? What's got going here?
Like a rat tail.
Yeah, he's got a mullet, and he's also got hair all over his body. He really doesn't need a shirt, right? He's pretty warm as it is.
Yes, he needs a shirt.
Yes, he does.
Oh my god.
How about crawling in bed with this teddy bear?
No, no, no.
He would just make you itch just thinking about it, right? But that's hair all over.
See, that would be me.
Now, this guy's got a heart in the back of his. He's flirting, I think, or something. But this guy up here, he's a NASCAR. He's got his favorite number on the back of his shirt. No shirt. Oops, no shirt. Just his number. Some guys are this way. They're just hairy. And you shave it, next day it'll be right back. Maybe not as thick, but it'll come back. Yes?
When do you find out if you're going to be like a hairy guy?
Oh, but right as you start turning puberty, you start putting on hair really fast. And usually I find a lot of them that are guys hit puberty early are real hairy. We had a couple guys that when I played football that way, we were all just young punks, and they were the same age, and they looked like they were 30-year-old men, They had hair everywhere, and we had nothing. Makes a difference. Couple more. Sometimes, people, what was it, 40-year-old virgin, he's got all his hair ripped off. Ouch, that doesn't sound too good. I don't think this is true, this Rosie O'Donnell or whatever her name is. Kind of looks photoshopped. We'll talk about these people on Monday, okay? This is the people they can't help this. This is the way they are.
Can't they just shave every day?
It comes right back. This is a genetic trait that comes back. Some of these people are in Mexico, and they can shave this, and they call them the werewolf syndrome.
Could it be waxed off?
It can be waxed, but it's going to come right back.
How long is the time?
Well, how long does the waxing do to come back? I don't know.
Not only that, but waxing your face. Ooh.
Yeah, that kind of, well, some women do their eyebrows, wax their eyebrows.
Right here would hurt really bad. Like when you take a face mask off, you gotta pull it.
All right, we'll see you on Monday.
Push a chair in. How inconsiderate.